Hello everybody and welcome back to another C++ programming exercise. And in today's video we are going to be going over C++ programming exercise number 18. C++ programming exercise number 18 says, children often play a memory game in which a deck of cards containing matching pairs is used. The cards are shuffled and placed down on a table. The players then take turns and select 2 cards at a time. If both cards match, they are left face up. Otherwise, the cards are placed face down at the same positions. Once done, once the players see the selected pair of cards, and if the cards do not match, they can memorize the cards and use their memory to select the next pair of cards. The game continues until all cards are faced up. Write a program to play the memory game. Use a 2-dimensional array for 4 rows and 4 columns for a deck of 16 cards with 8 matching pairs. You can use numbers 1 to 8 to mark the cards. If you use 6x6 array, you will need 18 matching pairs and so on. Use random number generators to randomly store the pairs in your array. Use appropriate functions in your program, and the main function should be merely a call to those functions. Okay, so that is the program description. If you do not understand what they're actually going through, let's say that you had 3x3 square like that, right? Or actually 4x4, because that's our case. But I'll just leave it at 3x3. In this case, there would actually be 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, technically, there would be only 1, 2, 3, 4 matching pairs, because there would be one pair that would just not have a match. So basically, let's say that this one, if you remove the hashtag, has a value of 2. And you select another one, and this one right here has a value of 1. Well, you're going to have to, since they don't match, you can memorize the numbers of the cards, and you can memorize the numbers and the placement of the cards and use that for later on when you try and match the numbers. So we put those away. Now let's say I find this one, and then this one has 3, and this one has 1. Then I'm like, oh wait, okay. This one and this one are the matching pairs, are one of the matching pairs. So then these cards are then covered up, and then I select this one as 1, and I select this one as 1, and then these two cards are revealed forever for the rest of the game, and so on. It goes on like that until all of the pairs are done and found. Many of you may already know what I'm talking about, but that's sort of a rundown of how the game will play. Okay, so now let's go into the actual program and get to the coding. So the first thing you need to do is you need to declare the header files cstdlib and ctime and nctime. The reason for that is because we're going to be generating random numbers. Okay, so now once you've done that, you then want to declare these named constants, which is rows, columns, and num of pairs. This means that there's going to be 4 rows and 4 columns, and there's going to be 8 pairs. Okay, now let's get to declaring our functions. So the functions that we use. So this program is actually going to be divided into technically 3 different functions, but we're going to declare 5 at the top because some of them are going to be used in other functions. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to write in void fill board int b columns, comma, and actually that's it. You only have to enter that. And then you write in void, show board, and you write in int b columns. And then you can write in void display board, and you write in int b, and then columns, comma, bool b position, and then columns. And then the next one is void play game int b columns, comma, bool b, well, let's just copy and paste what we have right here. Now after that, you write in void get card location, where you need to include int b, write that in, paste that in right there, comma, int, and rows, or actually just row, comma, int, and columns, or actually just col. And that is all the functions that we're going to be using in this program. So now we're going to write in the main function, which is going to be very easy because all we're going to have to do is call the functions that we have here. Rows, columns. After doing that, you write in bool, match, position, board, no, why did I write board twice? Then you write in rows, columns, which is equal to false. Then you can write in fill board, and then you can write in display board, comma, match, position board, play game, board, comma, match, position board. Okay, so now that we're done with the main function, we'll just get rid of these spaces right there, and we're going to copy and paste what we have right there. Copy. And then paste. And now we delete all of these little things. Wait. Oh, can't believe I almost forgot a semicolon right there. So then we enter on each one of these. And there we have it. So, what we're first going to do actually is start on the easy functions first, or the less long functions first, I guess you could say, which is show board and display board. We are going to start with those ones first, and then we're going to move up on our harder functions, or the just longer functions, I guess. Actually, in this case, it is actually necessary for us to actually understand what we're coding. So I think we'll start from the harder functions so that we can understand the layout and how this program is working. So never mind about the easier to harder part. But what we can do is we could actually separate the harder and easier functions. So I am moved. Play game is supposed to be up there. Display board is supposed to be down here. And then show board is going to be down there as well. Okay. So let's first start with fill board. Fill board basically just fills up the board. Despite only filling up the board, it does take up a good chunk of your program length. So the first thing that you want to do is declare the variables row, int column, int card, and bool placed card. So now then you want to write in srand time 0, and you're writing in that, I've already explained it before in previous program exercises, you write it so that you don't get decimals, and you can write in for int I is equal to 0, I is less than rows, I plus plus, and for int j is equal to 0, j is less than columns, j plus plus, b I j is equal to -1. Let me just do that, and there we go. So what these functions here do is it basically sets all of the functions that it declares all of the indexes inside of your array to be -1. The reason that we have them all being set to -1 is for the purpose of, if we're setting it to -1, then we can check is this index, is this element -1? If so, we need to implement the random algorithm on it. But if not, then we don't have to do anything to it. So then we have to write in for, and now this is going to be the main loop for int I is equal to 0. I is less than rows I plus plus. Oh wait, no. I is less than num of pairs I plus plus. Okay, so then we enter, write in those parentheses, and then we write in placed card is currently equal to false. And now while placed card is not true, then we write in row is equal to random percentage sign rows and column is equal to random column is equal to random columns. And there we go. And then we can write in if B rows, oh, it's actually just B row column is equal to -1. See, this is where that comes into play. Then we write in B row column, which is equal to card. Oh, by the way, this is supposed to be whole parentheses. Then we write in bool found is equal to false. And then we write in while, wait, hold on. Okay. While found is not equal to true, then we can write in row, which is equal to random percentage sign rows column is equal to random percentage sign columns. And now if B row column is equal to -1, we write in B row column is equal to -1. Oh, wait, what am I doing? B row column is equal to card found is equal to true. So basically, we have found a match for our other card. So basically what happens here is we look through the array, we find an element which is equal to -1, then we set that to a number, and then what we do is that then we go through the whole process, and then we try and do that again for another index, for another element if it is equal to -1 with the same number, and then if that works, then we have filled up all of the board with numbers. So then right in here, we're going to write in placed card is equal to true. And then right down here, inside of the for loop, right there, we're going to write card plus plus. Okay, so that is actually the end of our fill board function. So let me go through the function one more time. This is a very complicated program, so I'm going to be as meticulous as I can get throughout this entire video. So we see here that we set every single element of this array to a -1 in order to help out with filling out all of the numbers. So then we enter this, and what this does is it just we use I, and as long as the number of pairs, as long as I has not passed the number of pairs, then this keeps on running. So then we have placed card is equal to false at the beginning of the for loop, because we haven't placed down a pair of cards. And now while we haven't placed down a pair of cards, then we try and randomly find a... Okay, so after randomly generating that number, if that space has a -1 in it, then we execute this if statement. If not, then we run it again, try and find another number, and it keeps on going like that until we find a element that has a -1 in it, and then we go through this whole ordeal. We try and find another empty space, and then we fill it out with the exact same numbers that we had in this beginning for loop. And in this case, card is going to be equal to, this goes through like 1 through 8, I think, if I'm correct. Let me check it out. I is going yes, it goes from 1 or 0 through 8, I think. No, 1 through 8, yes. I was right when I said 1 through 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. 1 through 8. And it goes through each one of those and assigns those numbers into the into each of these pairs. Okay. So now this is the end of the function where we fill up the board. The next function that we're going to work on is the play game function. Now, play game function mostly consists of actually running the functions that we have created down here. So we have the fill board and the play game. But the play game is only going to be involving these three functions here. get card location, display board, and show board. So right here in void play game, you want to write in int pair is equal to 0, int row 1, comma, column 1, int row 2, comma, column 2, okay, now after you're done writing these variables, then you can enter and write in while pair is not equal to number of pairs. That's weird. Why isn't number of pairs popping up? Number of pairs. Then we enter and we write inside of this for loop, get card location B, comma, B position, comma, row 1, comma, column 1. So I don't know why I'm not getting like the auto completes right now. If I go here, board, like I have no clue why it's doing that, but I'm writing it down correctly, guys, so just do what I'm doing. Row 1, column 1 is equal to true. And now, after doing that, you write in display board B comma B position. And then we just copy and paste what we have right here. Except in this case, we replace row 1 with row 2 and column 1 with column 2. Now after that, we can write in an if statement if B row 1 column 1 is equal to B row 2 column 2, then we write in cout pair match and down. Okay, so now after we're done with this, then we can write in else B position row 1 column 1 is equal to false. B position row 2 column 2 is equal to false. After that, we see out pair does not match. Select again. And then we come to the end, and then we write in display board, once again, B position, B, comma, B position. Okay. Now let's get rid of these extra spaces, and we will be ready to move on to our next function, because that is the end of this function. Okay, so now that we're done with this function, let's get to get card location. So the first thing that we need to do is we want to write in bool done, and then we write in done is equal to false, and then while done is not equal to true. That's right. Then we see out enter the row 1, 2, 4 and column 1, 2, 4 position of the pair. And then you CIN row column, and then you see out and del, and you write row minus minus column minus minus. And now while row is less than 0 or row is greater than rows minus 1 or column is less than 0, or column is greater than columns minus 1, then we see out invalid position, and they'll see out enter the row 1, 2, 4 and column 1, 2, 4 position position of the pair. And then after that, you can then CIN, row, column, Cout, endo, and then you write row minus minus, column minus minus, and then you can write in if B position row column is equal to true, then we write in Cout card at this position is already faced up, period, select position again. Else done is equal to true. And now this is the end of the get card location function. Let me actually go over what these two functions here do. So this one is pretty simple. It takes in as input, and if the inputted card location is correct, like for example, if the card, as long as the card location that you want to lift up isn't an invalid position, then it takes in that is as input. Or if the card at that position is already faced up, meaning it's already been guessed, then it won't run. The function won't run. You'll have to re-enter your values again. But if all of this isn't true, then you'll be able to just get through the entire function once you input your correct rows and columns. And this only does it for one, so I could use in a variety of places. And also just makes it better graphically, really. So you just write in get card location, and stores that location inside of these variables. And then does all of the stuff, and then everything is all good from there. By the way, it stores the row and column as reference variables. So that works out pretty well. And then here, what we do is if the rows and the columns are equal to each other, then that means that there is a matched pair. But if it isn't true, if it's not true, then we reset them back to false, and then we write in pair does not match. And basically what this B position means is if B position of that index is true, then that means that card has already been guessed. So true basically just means has it been guessed already and solved. Okay, so the last two functions that we need to work on is displayBoard and showBoard. Okay, so now that I remember it, I don't actually think that we need to use this at all. This was just something on top of my head. I thought it was, we can actually delete it. I accidentally wrote that down. Because usually I would do showBoard instead of displayBoard, but we don't need that function. We're not going to use it throughout this entire program. Okay, so then in displayBoard, what we're going to write in is we're going to write in for int I is equal to 0, I is less than rows, I plus plus. And now for int j is equal to 0. Oh, wait. J is less than columns. And then J plus plus. We write in if B position I J is equal to true, then we can see out set W for B I J and then else we see out set W for and then after writing that in, after the for loop of int j, then we can write in cout and L. So now if you look here, we see for int I is equal to 0, I is less than rows, I plus plus. That is pretty much just the loop that we use, and for int j is equal to 0, and then this cout and L is pretty standard. But what's really important here is this if-else statement. What this basically does is we write in if B position I, basically if that position, if it has been guessed and it has been guessed correctly, then we print out the number of that position. But if it hasn't been guessed correctly yet, then we just replace it with an asterisk. And then that is the end of all of our functions of this program. Let's try and run this program and see if it works well. Of course, there should be one error. Okay, and that's actually all of the errors. There's only one error. It's cool. Let me shrink this down. What? How? That's strange. So something obviously went wrong when we were calculating the beginning numbers. Oh, I see what I did wrong here. I need to set card to 1 first. So let me do that one. Let me do that right now. Let's run it again. Oh, okay. So all of the numbers are positive, but why is it printing that out? Let me check it out. So I think it could be something here in play game, but hold on, let me run this again. Since it's showing this actually probably might be a problem with display board. Let's check out display board first, because chances are display board is going to be where the problem is, because it does have something to do mostly around that function. So let's check out display board. That looks okay. Let's see. The problem has to be somewhere in this if statement, because everything else seems fine. Oh. Let me try that, because that is supposed to be 2 equal signs, not 1. Okay, there we go. It is working fine right now. So let me just shrink it down. Let me show you guys. So enter row 1 and 3, 1 and 2. Okay, the pair does not match. Try again. 1, 1, 2, 2. How do I get a -1? 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. Okay, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay, well, I'm getting -1, so let me actually remove that equal sign for now, and let me try and run this again. And I'm getting -1s for some reason. I have no idea why. Let me see. Since we're talking about actually filling up the board, there must be a problem here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, whoa. I think I made another mistake like that again, didn't I? Let me just change that to that. Oh, would you look at that? I also made the same mistake twice. Okay. Well, let's try and play this game. Well, I only have it being shown, and it actually works perfectly well. You can bug test it, and it should work pretty good. Let me just add back another equal sign, and there we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1. Well, I'm not actually gonna play the entire game. I'm actually just gonna keep on going until I find a matching pair. Three, 1, 3, 1. 3, 3, and 1, 2. There we go. I found a matching pair, and now if I write in like 3, 4, and 1, 1, it shows those numbers for the rest of the game. Okay, so I hope you have fun doing this C++ program exercise. I do know that it is on the longer side of most of the exercises that we've done before, but it's a fairly complicated exercise that you need to pay attention to, because it's pretty fun once you finish it, and it's pretty fun in the making. And it's very important when you're making objects like those and trying to make everything different on a different run. So it's pretty important. So I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you can win at this game that we've created. And I hope you guys have a great time. I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.